Anyway, guys, I know you're going to be fucking great, but I'm coming for your asses in a second. 3 months from now, we have the California State IPA Mendelssohn Open, the California State Championships tomorrow, and I'm going to sideline that and actually have a good time because I'm not going to be puking before I lift. But I did want to break the world record, and we're just going to have to wait on that.
I'm right behind you.
I know you are.
No.
I know you are.
I don't think you're sitting safe.
I feel that.
No, I'm lurking in the shadows, motherfucker.
In the shadows. You know, with this microphone here, in the shadows.
You got a good singing voice. You ever think about coming down to my basement and I could put on some...
That's only because my test levels are low right now. Otherwise, it would be out of my...
Why are they low, Scott?
Why? Because I just have low test levels.
Okay. I can fix that for you.
I know you can. Hey, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, so you got arrested.
Yeah, I did.
Go into the whole thing. Let's hear about how you can help me out there.
Well, you have to rewind time. I mean, I'm just glad that I had a 5-year or 6-year natural ability to bench and natural foundation I had built.
Right.
So if steroids would have been around when I was 19, I'd have been on. Yeah, I'm telling you. So thank God they weren't. In my era, there was no internet shit. You know, you had to wait for somebody to come from Mexico. So,
right.
And it was spendy as shit. You get all the way up to Washington. So, you know, I first kind of got involved with that, and I got a taste of it. When was that? My birthday, 1998. Had a bodybuilder buddy, gave me a handful of Thailand Dianabol, 5 milligram. And I put it in my hand. I remember exactly where I was in front of the Circle K in my buddy's car. And I looked at him, I go, what do I do with these? And he goes, I don't know, take 2 a day. You know? Took 2 a day. And I remember I went to a meet, and my best bench was 551, because November 1997, I decided I couldn't drink anymore. I couldn't be the Tank Abbott drink and bench 600 raw that I wanted to be. And so I gave up drinking. And when I did that, 2 months later, I did a Wabdo meet and put 51 pounds on my bench and 15 pounds of body weight. So right then, the alcohol depletes, destroys, and dehydrates. So put the alcohol away, made progress, and then I had those pills. And I went to a meet, and I became like the greatest bencher, you know, that people have seen in a long time in that area. I opened with a 540, hit that, and a 2-ply Inzer Poly. He had his PhD.
I love those.
And then I went 584, had the biggest state bench. Then I did 600 and 617. And then I didn't realize that those gains and strength gains don't stay with you when you come off that stuff. So, you know, Gus flew me down to Texas that year, and I came off. And all of a sudden, I dropped 10 pounds of body weight. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, you don't respect things until you're off of them and realize how fucking strong
you're. Like, whoa.
We're like, whoa. It's like that, night and day, okay. And, you know, that was my first taste of it. And I was like, wow, you know, I think this could be a catalyst, you know?
Yeah.
I can make, but I did maintain some numbers. I didn't go completely back to zero. So as time went on, you know, you got little bits and pieces of things and you used them. And eventually I got tired of it, you know, because a bottle of testosterone I was paying $180 for, from Mexico. So I said, fuck it. I took out somebody had $5,000 to blow. So I said, let's get in the car. Let's go to Mexico. 22 hours. I drove all the way fucking down there. I was at Tijuana Square at 23 hours with a Corona. And I was like, I know where I did my research. I knew where to go. I know what store to go. I knew the fakes. And I remember I walked in there, and I walked up right to that Bravo Testosterone 200. I go, how much is that? And he goes, that's $4. Fuck.
You're paying $1.
I can't get fuck. So, you know, back then, 200 of them. Yeah, pre-9/11, it was easy down there.
Yeah.
But now it's a little different story, and I would never try it again, because I'm a good boy. But I brought back enough stuff to take all the plates and cups out of my cupboard and line it up like a pharmacy. And I was like, okay, let's start mixing cocktails here. Let's try halotestin with some liquid D-bulb, right? And fuck, dude, 600 raw, boom, boom. And so that's kind of where it started. And then things change, times change, and eventually you get into the homebrewing system. You know, you get your own raw powders overseas, and you can make it for $2 a bottle.
Right.
You know. I was like, wow, I'll get some Deco, I'll get some testosterone, and pretty soon you got, you know, kilos or what, I don't know, I have kilos of powder, but 100 grams of this, 100 grams of that, and
Right.
you know, and it's you make it yourself. It's clean, it's sterile. You know what's going in, and
So you know exactly what you're doing.
yeah, you know, I lived in a little small town, 18,000 people, and everybody knew the fuck I was. I had the world record.
Right.
You know, so like, yeah, you know, and so, long story short, the drug task force took an interest in me, and yeah, I guess they drove on my house and saw my $75,000 Dodge and yada yada yada, and they wanted to. And the only reason I know this because there's an ex.
Yeah, but that money that you bought the Dodge with,
Yeah.
had nothing to do with that.
No, and I had proof that when my grandfather had passed, and there was a trust, and I inherited a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I had Metropolitan Mortgage was out of Spokane, Washington.
Right.
And I had the checks that he was getting $5,000. You know, and my grandfather was walking back, handing me $1,000 envelopes. Here, put that away. And I had a safe. And fuck, dude, I had over 90 grand.
Yeah.
I did. And so, you know, it's cheap to purchase that testosterone powder.
Yeah.
You know, so I started getting it, and then I found things that worked for me and my special combos, and I ran with it. And you know, like I said, they took an interest in me, and I'm not going to sit here and go into too much detail how they did it because you know I couldn't prove it.
They busted them.
Yeah, I had an ex-cop tell me, you know, it's kind of funny because I was ordering through the mail, obviously. And the mail lady just happened to be the husband of the head narcotics officer that was after me.
The wife.
The wife, yeah. And so my mail wasn't showing up on time, and eventually packages were falling open mysteriously. And so yeah, they came to my house, and I signed for a little thing, and
Okay, man, no.
yeah, drove down the road, and they cornered me at an intersection and jumped on my back and did the whole 9 yards, and had to fight that, and they took everything I had, my truck, my motorcycles, my gold, my money, and I wanted to fight it. You know, I mean, this is fucked up. I'm not going to lay down and let them railroad me.
Right.
And eventually they came down to a deal, you know, and I'd already done like 8 months in county. They said, you admit to being a drug trafficker.
I gotta tell you,
What?
you were lean and shredded.
Yeah, well, that happens. But I didn't take the deal, because if I took a charge, then they can go to civil trial and keep all my shit as drug profited merchandise. And I was like, no, you have to earn it. Well, you're just going to go federal, and I knew that was trouble. I knew but you know, I'm not going to lay down and let them take my shit.
No, I don't blame you.
And so the criminal trial drug out. I kind of did it again. You know, I'm a thrill junkie, man.
No, I get it.
Things get me off. You know, sometimes doing wrong things.
Yeah.
So, but you know,
I'm the same way. I just don't make my own drugs.
yeah.
I do it on a track with leathers on a motorcycle doing 180 miles.
There you go. I understand.
I got a different thrill threshold. You know what I mean?
But I was good at what I was doing.
Yeah.
I won't tell you how good I was. But, yeah. But yeah, anyway, so
He was very good.
I took him to the civil trial, and their whole case was based on there's no way he, blah, 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 he has all this shit, he can drug proceeds, had all the proof. I mean,
How long were you doing this before you got busted?
10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just beat him in the civil trial, so they had to give all my stuff back.
You know what? I'm pissed off.
Why?
Because you never called me and said, I have good drugs, let me help you out. You fuck.
I didn't.
No.
Sure? I didn't.
Positive. You never did.
No.
I never knew about this until now. I mean, I knew you got popped.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about the
Yeah,
details.
I did wrong, and I took my wounds, and...
What you did wrong by not fucking calling me, and I'm upset about it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so anyway, I beat him at the civil trial, then it's like, well, the criminal trial now. Well, he's Ryan Kennelly, he benches 1,075, and he's got all this testosterone. What are we going to do? So my lawyer, you know, did that sentencing bit. It was all set up. She's like, well, you got to convince the judge that this is all for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm number one in the world. Okay, let me sit down. And I'm going to tell you this. I made in jail, I took the Keefy coffee and the hot cocoa.
What's his name's little mix?
Yeah, I stayed up all night. That's why the next day.
Coffee?
Yeah, that's why the next day I looked so fucking drawn and tired because I'd been up all night orchestrating this cell.
You know he had a heart attack.
Who?
Hyphy boy, what's his name again? Cali Muscle.
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
Yeah. I hope you're okay, bro.
So I get on there and I'm like, okay. I took 2 people. One was you, because you told me what you take. And there was a kid named, I won't mention his name, it was a Scott guy, bench 242 bencher at the Arnold. And I remember Kara was there. And after he benched 700 something, he was leaning against the wall and he was white. I go, Kara, what's wrong with him? Because he trained, well, goddamn, I can't say, they'll put two together. I go, what's wrong with him? And she goes, he's on 5,000 milligrams of test a week. I go, and I stared at it like, whoa. Because I thought he was going to die. Yeah. His coach was holding him up. He was like this. So I sat up and I put Scott and the Scott together and I created this me. So 2,500 mgs, because, you know, they took it by the gram, like, you know, 1 gram was 1 dose.
1 gram is
1 mig, or 10 milligrams is a dose or something.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I do 3,500 tests a week, 500 D-ball a week, and I took a 7-year supply and shortened it down to 2 years. And
You're just too slow.
yeah, which is unhuman doses, but when you're number one in the world, who could say different? Yeah, so. And I made up shit too. I was like, yeah, I take a whole scoop of testosterone powder, and then I inject myself with insulin. It shuttles into the muscle. I remember they had this drug. Somebody out of Seattle, Washington, some chemist, doctor, and they had him on the speakerphone. Mr. Kennelly takes a spoonful of testosterone propionate, and he injects insulin, and he says that he takes some Tang and dextrose, and he says it shuttles it into his muscle. Is that possible? And the lady's like, oh yeah, it's possible. That don't fucking work. But they bought it. You know, I always think of Ferris Bueller. They bought it.
Yeah.
You know, and so boom, bada bang. You know, life goes on. But yeah, that was then. This is now, and it made.
No, bro.
Everybody knew.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You learn from your experiences. You know, if you didn't go through it, you wouldn't be the man you are today.
Not true.
And, you know, that's how it is in life. I mean, look, if you're sheltered and you don't take chances. Look, I'm not saying go out and deal drugs or make out drugs, guys, but everybody has a pathway.
You know, but you know, at the time I look at it, and I remember I'd go to like Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box, and I'd see the city cops there, and they go, oh, Ryan, you know, testosterone's in the same class as cocaine now. And I'm like, what?
Today it is?
Back then they kept telling me that, it's the same class as cocaine. I'm like, testosterone and cocaine are in the same class? How is that fucking possible? I've never done cocaine.
Yeah.
But I want to try it. No, how is this fucking two things related? How can they be brother and sister?
Right.
I'm not. What the fuck is going on in this country? It's so upside down. But
dude, the bottom line is,
yeah.
You know, FDA is FDA.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a huge money corporation. They do what they got to do.
And you know what I mean. I'm going to make a shirt that says something on the front and on the back. It's going to say "Outsourcing Big Pharma since 1997." That's my T-shirt. Next one coming out. Yeah, yeah. Because that's what my lawyer said. He goes, "They're pissed at you, Kennelly, because you're outsourcing Big Pharma." He told me that in trial. Well,
it's a fact. It is what it is. You know,
you can't go to Walmart and get this shit. You can't.
Right.
You know, I wish you could, and I wouldn't have done what I did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, now you can go to Costco and get it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Look, the world's changed, and now the whole world's on testosterone.
The whole world is, yeah.
You know, it is.
It's no big deal.
The law enforcement, the fire agencies, SWAT, everybody. Look, the bottom line is this. You're putting back in, I'm not saying mainline a fucking tanker of it and walk behind you, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is if you do it properly, it heightens your immune system. It strengthens your bones. It does everything to make you younger. And now look at us.
Youthful young men. Yeah, but that went down. It was embarrassing.
All right, let me tell you about my drug use.
Okay. What?
Not.
Oh. I got nothing to say about that. We've had our own private conversations. And some of your advice is some of the best advice I've ever gotten. We talked about that today.
You want to talk? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You give me I ramble, motherfucker.
Okay, but I'll talk to you about it. But you gotta kind of, I've been through so much shit, Ryan.
Yeah.
That what is it that I helped you with?
Oh, you've you without you, I wouldn't have had the fire.
Right.
No one would be pushing me. And you called me up Saturday morning, and I'm eating my goddamn cereal, telling me you broke my record. And then I had a torn pack, Senior Nationals 03. You broke my 800, 804, 821.
Hey, you know that picture when me and him are head to head? It's like a famous picture.
It is.
I just broke his record. It was at a National?
Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, it was a Nationals in Detroit. I hit like a 905 or something like that.
Yeah, you broke my record.
And then Ryan comes up on stage, and we're all head to head together. Somebody put like jail bars around it. See that shit, bro?
I got an Instagram message today saying they want a revised pic of that. Fuck. Can we do it? We better get pumped up first.
But the thing was,
I told you we were.
I literally just got off the bench.
Yeah.
Took
Still
my shirt
sweating.
off.
Yeah.
I was still sweating. And Ryan comes up to me.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
How silent did that fucking auditorium get?
Oh, dude, it was fucking awesome,
Fucking
bro.
crickets, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Let me see it. Let me show. I don't know how to fucking work this thing yet, so we're getting to it.
I mean, it's giving me chills just thinking about it. It was good times, man.
This is the picture.
Yeah.
And it was fucking a day of all days.
I decided to do that.
And he looked at me and was like, you motherfucker, I'm coming to get my record back.
That's right. I remember staring into those eyeballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it was serious times for me, man. I just, it's my whole life. It still is to this day.
Let me eat this guy. I want to talk.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Oh, got some of my new Team Bench Monster shirt here.
There you go. I want one of those, by the way.
Look at the back. What's it say?
Anytime, anywhere, anyone.
That's right, motherfucker.
Except me.
Uh-huh. You'll get one.
Oh, we're going. Hey, you know what? I'm getting you in that fucking shirt.
Okay.
And we're going head to head again.
Whoa.
We'll smoke everybody.
Okay.
Can you imagine if we tied?
No. That'd be weird.
Yeah, 11:35, 11:35. You know.
At the same body weight, because you and I are hanging around 310, 315.
Yeah.
Yeah. healthy weights.
It is healthy.
Yeah.
It's definitely healthy.
No more 390. No more 363.
Yeah. I'll tell you, our rivalry was the best fucking thing.
It was.
I mean, you know what? And I didn't even realize what it really was when we were going through it. You know, and it's like people come up to me and they're like, dude, those were like literally the gladiator bench days.
It was.
Like, it was like, you beat him, he beat you, you beat him, you beat... And it was like, you guys just had this thing together.
Yeah.
It was almost like we were made for each other to do that.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? It's like God fucking came up with a plan. You know, and that's what it was. And I had no fucking idea it was going to be him.
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and some of my lifting, took a serious turn for the best. You take forks from the road in life.
Yeah.
And, I up and left my training partners because they all were flaking on me. And I was like, I had this girl I knew was moving to Florida. I'm like, fuck, that's completely far away from this place in Washington. And I followed her down there. I was retired. I walked away from powerlifting. I got pissed at Gus Breathwich because he had me on his poster for a Wabdo Worlds meet one year, and I did a 765 bench, and Gus was on my ass like, you got to do this, you got to do it. I had to hit 800. It was 2000 November, and I took too much testosterone. I remember I went toxic, and I didn't eat or sleep for 3 days. I went from 85 body weight down to 244. Then I boarded a plane for Gus Rush with his meet. I got off the plane and the word out that I got sick. And that motherfucker walked up to me and goes, "What the fuck, you're sick?" And long story short, dick. I did 705 that day. And I was just fed up with him. And I said, I'm quitting. I'm not quitting. I'm walking away for a while. I'm going to Florida. And I went down there, and it wasn't a month later. I was in a Gold's Gym doing 315. And one guy walked up with Powerlifting USA. He goes, "Is that you?" "Yeah, that's me." Yeah. He goes, "Oh, we got to train. I'm going to buy some chains and bit." "Oh, okay. Then we got to do a meet. Daytona, bench for cash, Went up there and brought my best training that I had to date. I had a 733 bench to my name, and I went up there and bombed with 705. Was beat by Rob Fusner, and I remember Louie and his crew, they walked in like military. George Halbert, Kenny Patterson, Rob Fusner, Louie in the back, and they fucking don't look at anybody. They go in, they do their own thing. I'm like, okay, motherfuckers. So I'm warming up, and usually I have this intimidation thing that works in the warm-up room. Go up to 6 plates raw.
Right.
Yeah, so I went up to 6 plates. I got Halbert, Fusner, Louie. It was actually 615. I took it out raw. Boom! Those fuckers didn't even flinch. They didn't even bother. I was like, oh shit, these guys aren't like, this ain't working. And I got my ass handed to me at that meet, bombed. And I remember walking back and I go, "Louie, can you help me? I want to get better." And he goes, "You need to call me." And next 2 days, I spent 3 hours on the phone. I still have the manila envelope. I wrote everything, every quote, every chains and band rep, and I did all that, and it changed my life forever. Because right after that, I went to the Arnold, met you, and did a 739 there, a PR on the biggest stage I've ever been on in my life.
Is that when I beat you?
You beat me there,
right? But
remember, the next day you were over at a booth, and I walked in with that vest, that House of Pain vest with t-shirt underneath. And I looked at you and he goes, "I'm gonna take your record." And you manned up on me. He goes, "You better train harder." drove back to Washington with my...
That intimidation thing didn't work there either.
No,
You had a bad weekend.
I went back to Washington and I said, this is how I train. Got a group of guys and April, Abdul come through to Tri-Cities, Washington, and I did a 760. I beat you by 2 pounds or something, 769 or something. He's at 66 at the Arnold, and I did 769. This was April of 2002.
No, I bombed out.
You won the Arnold when I was there.
There I hit a 755.
55, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did 769 as a guest lifter at a WAPL meet.
Oh, okay.
Then Scott Taylor from Florida came up, APA meet in our town. And Gus Rethwich told me, he goes, you got to beat Anthony Clark's record. I go, it's fucking 800, Gus. No, he's only credited with 785. It's 800.
782.
82?
Yeah.
Okay. So I did
that was his record that I broke the day he died.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So May, that was June or May. No, it was May. I did 785. And I thought that was great. You know, I thought I tied Anthony. So Gus flies me down into July of 202. I go down, Anthony Clark's brother's there. I go 755 opener, blast it, and then they gave me like 3 attempts at 805 or something.
Right.
And they were all not close. And so I went back, licked my wounds, I went home, I was just like, oh. Gus calls me up. You need to come to my meet next weekend in Portland. And I'm like, fuck, Gus, I just did a meet. The week after a meet, I suck ass.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm going to call your numbers. Fuck. Just didn't think nothing of it. Drove down there. I remember in the warm-ups, like 500 was heavy.
Yeah, because you were fucking, CNS was gone.
Fuck, dude. And then I put the shirt on, and he had me open at 683. I opened at 755, Gus. No, 683. Boom. 739, or whatever it was. Boom. And then, what was it, 80? I don't know, 83.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 800.5 or whatever it was, and I remember it came down and went up a little crooked, and I walked it out, and fuck, it gave me chills.
Yeah.
You know? And that was also the time that I hopped off stage, and Bill Gillespie was there.
Right.
And Bill Gillespie was the strength coach of the Seattle Seahawks at the time.
Dude, he had a fucking seizure at the meet a couple months ago.
I saw that. Was that a seizure?
It looked like one to me,
Looked like one to me.
I don't know.
Yeah, he pulled me aside, he goes, Kennelly, you would scare the shit out of Cortez Kennedy. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I can get you a walk-on at Cheney for Seahawks tryout. And I go, Bill, I've never played football my whole life.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you'd get handled.
Yeah. If I had some football experience,
I walked onto the Raiders.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't
and
know this.
my boy with me, Duke, he ended up getting he stayed on the Raiders for 3.5 years.
Right.
I was strong and fast and everything, but dude, they know how to fucking move you, bro.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that shit from when you're fucking 5 years old, you ain't just walking on to some fucking team. Because they know leverage, bro.
Right.
And the coach at the time was fucking, the blonde-haired guy, what the fuck's his name? Gruden or whatever? He was like, dude, you're a bad motherfucker, but you never played football. I said, not much.
Yeah.
I didn't make it, so. But I'll tell you, I mean, it was frustrating because I'd square up with these guys and they would just move me. Wherever the fuck they wanted, they knew what to do. It's a fucking art, and it's something that you have to have from birth.
Yeah. That could have been another fork in the road. There also was a fork in the road in 2003. You know, I did the 800, first man to do it, whatever. Then I was offered Glenn Chabot. Remember him?
Yeah. Dude, I was on his ass at that first Arnold.
I know.
And then he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I see him, he's standing there, he's all jacked with his vest on.
Yep.
I walk up to him, I go, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's all, what? I'm all, I came here to fuck you up. And then I went, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. But anyway, no, he had a WWE tryout, and I guess he jumped off the rope, broke his ankle or something, and but he had a contract for $260-some thousand a year for dark matches.
Really?
And then when that happened to him, somehow the word got out that I was getting that offer, and it came in a weird way because I had the Kennelly Method book out, and I guess somebody knew Hulk Hogan's son.
Right.
And Hulk Hogan's son pulled up my picture in that white shirt and showed Hulk Hogan. And there was kind of some slow talk in between of doing the wrestling thing. And
I made some money doing that.
Well, but you know, choreographed as it is, it's fucking hard. You can't get off the couch and be a professional wrestler.
Let me tell you something about professional wrestling. Yes, it's fake. I used to have a wrestling school at my gym. It was called the Fit Pit. And every week I'd see these guys. I actually retrofitted my boxing ring into a fucking wrestling ring.
Okay.
And it had a jack under it, and I could jack it up and the jack would hit the top, and it would be flat for boxing, and then I would unjack it, and it would just boom, it'd be a big old wrestling ring. When you see a guy grab a guy and lift him up and do like a corkscrew with his head into the ground, the guy that's doing the throwing is the guy that's taking all the impact.
That's right.
So the guys that are the winners of the wrestling matches are taking all the impact. Because, dude, I mean, let's face it, if I took you and lifted you up like a corkscrew and smashed your head into the fucking ring,
right,
dude, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
It'd break your fucking neck. So those guys are cradled, and they're taking the whole knock of the guy's body weight and their body weight.
Right.
So that's why these guys, there's big pill problems and.
Well, it crossed my mind. The life of a professional wrestler on the road,
325 days a year.
Yeah. Pain pills.
Yeah.
Take things to perform, things to go to bed, and Hulk Hogan said, I'll never forget the quote from Hulk Hogan's son to this kid who got back to me. Hulk Hogan looked at my picture and said, I had the look. And that was then. I don't look like that anymore, but but that kind of, I was like, do I want to go that route, or I want to keep going with this bench press thing?
Yeah.
And I decided the bench press thing is, I didn't want to at that time, the professional wrestling lifestyle. I don't think
it's still the same.
Well, yeah, they got a different, I think they're 3 on, 3 off now or something. That's how Vince runs them, but.
But you look at the guys today that are in the wrestling; they're not nearly as gnarly as the guys back then.
No, because back in that era, Vince wanted them big, and he had his steroid scandal and
the fucking the grave digger. What's the guy's name? Grave something.
Which one?
Undertaker? The fucking Undertaker. Yeah. Dude, he was fucking massive in the fucking. Who was the guy that had his fucking paint right here? It was the
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, the chiropractor guy. Yeah, I mean, dude, those guys were ridiculous, bro. Yeah. They were ridiculous, and I don't see any pro wrestlers like that anymore. It doesn't. It's
that look is not what he's after now. They have a few big guys, but back then everybody was.
He's after the emo look now.
Yeah. John Cena, that's what sells tickets. That type
John's
of thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
John's cool. I met him at the Arnold when we did that rep thing with Inzer.
Yeah, I didn't make it down for that. I was a little pissed because you guys have been
Glenn Russo dropped 1,000 pounds on his head.
That was at the Olympia.
At the Olympia.
Yeah.
When my handoff guy Mo, remember the big guy that had
big bodybuilder guy, yeah,
Big Mo, he fucking grabbed the bar and it just boom went off his head.
Yeah.
If Mo didn't grab that bar, he wouldn't be here today.
He wouldn't be here today. I was on stage when that happened.
That was fucking gnarly, and I was pissed because I was fucking ready to go, and then fucking 20 minutes went by. I cooled off. I was like, this motherfucker. Just scoop his head up and get him off the bench. I want to go.
But another short wrestling cool story. The Mark Henry incident.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When he got in his face.
Yeah, he'd mouthed off 3 years in a row, cussing at women and shit. And I had some check drops, and boom, yada yada. I was fucking done with him, and I was gonna kill him. But when that happened,
tell him what happened.
Well, two years before he
was talking shit to that guy.
He walks in. But 2 years before, he walks in the warm-up room and says, all you motherfuckers get out of my way. The next year, he needed a pass to get in the warm-up area. And they had that curtain there, and they had security guards there. And I was sitting there next to a female security guard. Mark Henry whips the curtain open, and she goes, you need a pass? And he goes, just try to stop me, motherfucker. And I'm like, this guy's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Okay? And then that 2007 Arnold, we were warming up, 3:15, and the strongmen need another hour. I'm like, oh, that chapped me. And Bill Kazmaier was there. And he was an asshole in his era.
Yeah, no, dude, Bill was a fucking dick.
So I got up and I go, how you doing, old man? And his eyes got big as silver dollars, looked at me. I was fucking, then I start walking over, whatever the kid's name was, they were doing that yoke walk, warming up, and he, looks both ways, runs across, and I heard Mark Henry say, motherfucker something, snapped. He was here, he was probably 10 yards away. I was in his fucking side of his head in 2 steps. I was like, you motherfucker! I was just screaming, and he's just looking forward, just not moving. And I'm realizing I got this fist cocked right here at my hip. And I'm like, I can't choke this motherfucker. His neck is that round. I'm not getting my arm around his neck. I'm going to go right. When he turns, I was so close, Scott. All he had to do was turn.
Yeah.
And I was going.
Yeah.
And he didn't turn.
Yeah.
And then I was doing that.
Because he knew that you were going.
Oh, I was ready. And then fucking Zvickus started coming up this way behind. I didn't see it. Paul Roch, I don't know what happened, but he was supposed to go over there and get Zvickus from getting me from behind. Yeah, and then fucking the West Side guys were there. Then it's like insinuating a fucking riot.
Yeah.
So then I gotta break, like he's not gonna fucking make a move on me. And then so I'm like, and I'm like, I just took his hand and I went like this. I barely held it. You're a really nice guy. And I walked away from him. because it looked like it was going to get ugly back there.
Yeah.
Because it was like
Everybody was.
West Side had my back. There were some things said after, seconds after, and I won't repeat them, but there were some things that were said that were like made me laugh later. But yeah, so long story short, they go on Dave Palumbo's radio show. Dave Palumbo picks it up and gets Mark Henry all pissed off. Triple H gets involved.
Yeah.
And Dave Palumbo gets front row seats when WWE comes to town from Triple H.
Right.
And I go, Dave, can you get me some front row seats because WWE's coming to my town. Triple H got me 4 tickets, front row seats at a 2009 event with Undertaker.
That's what I'm saying.
Triple H, Big Show. I mean, Big Show was right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was sitting there, I go, how much do you bench? And he looks over at me. But yeah, I mean, that's fun. So,
That's cool. That's cool. So cool shit, bro.
Yeah.
I think this was a good podcast.
oh, dude, we can do it again, man. I can
Dude,
I
absolutely. And I'll come back on your show.
Okay, sounds good.
And we'll go, this is volume 2 because the first one I was on Kennelly's podcast. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, I fucking love you, bro.
Me too, man.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. It's a pleasure, man. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you, man.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful having dinner with you.
Yeah.
Guys, the podium is back up and running. About 3 weeks, we'll have another one. I'm trying to get Mike O'Hearn on the line.
Nice.
Mike, I'm coming for you. I'll call you in a couple days. I love you, bro. Guys, Kennelly and Mendy out. We love you. And thanks for being there for us. We're there for you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.